Hello, and welcome to the Innovia Conversation. I'm Steve Waltz.
And I'm Jeff Progelski.
And Jeff, I think today we're going to recap the Innovia Customer Conference 2022.
Sounds good to me. Can we do that by ourselves?
Well, we probably could, but you know what? I think we should have a special guest here that help. I think we have Tom Doran with us. 3 years in the planning with COVID to get to that date? I mean, oh my gosh, there was a lot of planning, wasn't there?
We planned it and replanned it, Steve.
That's right, because originally it was supposed to be there in 2021, and we had COVID, obviously. So we moved the date back, and I think it was our first gathering because we had a virtual one in 2020. So really, since 2019, it was great to see Innovia staff and our clients and all our ISV friends that were there. And you know, Tom, I've been dying to ask you. All that time planning it. So how'd you think it went?
You know, Steve, I think it turned out great. We got a lot of positive feedback from our customers. They really enjoyed the sessions. I think they enjoyed Notre Dame. They always enjoy the time they get to spend with the Innovia staff members, many of whom they just talk with over the phone. So really, I would say a really solid success.
I thought it was pretty cool. You know, when Jeff and I were looking outside the football stadium, it was at the Notre Dame football stadium. And I tell you, people were trying to get in. Even Garth Brooks made an attempt to get into our customer conference. I mean, it was crazy. We're sitting there watching out in the attached building to the football stadium, and you could see the stage going up. So I'm like, boy, it's crazy what some people will do to get in.
That's right.
On that one. But I know from start to finish, we had close to about 250, 300 folks that were there.
Yeah, there was about 250 people, which was a record for Innovia. A really great turnout. Obviously our customer base has grown, so we expected a few more folks, but we were really pleased by people's eagerness to attend the event. And as I said earlier, the feedback, they felt like their time was a good investment. So we were just thrilled with the customer's experience. I think they had a lot of fun down on the field. They got to go out on the practice field where Notre Dame practices and look around, and they had people giving them tours around campus. And so not only was there a lot of really nice work related value that they got, but I think many of them enjoyed just the ambiance and the experience at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I thought it was very cool. What really kind of stood out to me was the venue, because originally I think we were going to have it at the hotel nearby, and then we got access to that beautiful building, and we had two floors and in totally different breakout sessions. But I think of how it started. Right, we had our keynote speaker, Brad Adams from Sales Gravy, kind of really set the tone on how to use your ERP system as a gold mine versus a trash can. And I think that really kind of resonated with a lot of our clients.
I heard that feedback as well. I think our clients appreciate, we had Brad from Sales Gravy this year. The last time we had a conference, we had Steve Schmid, who's a manufacturing engineer, fairly world renowned. And customers appreciate it when we get a broadly applicable topic that may not relate directly to their software, but to the concepts and the challenges that all of our customers face. And so nice to have some thought leadership at the conference as well.
Yeah. And, Jeff, I don't know about you, but the kind of the tone I thought of, the sessions have been in the past just with Microsoft and, the user groups and so forth is let's talk about this functionality, the software. But I just felt this whole theme of how to use all the data that you have in your ERP system. Right, we had sessions on Power BI, we had sessions on AP automation, just so many different ways to take that data and really just take you to the next level of automation. I mean, what were your thoughts about that, Jeff?
Yeah, I would say you're spot on there. I think that's reflected or that is a reflection of our customers' desire to get more out of their ERP system, and as the application has grown and improved from the early days, Business Central is, it's great to connect up to other data sources, to share the data with people within your organization, as well as external people, external applications, et cetera. So I think our conference is just, changing to match those requirements out of our customers. And I think that I heard a lot of good feedback around the content, and as Tom said, everything that I heard was positive. And I think that I'm already excited to think about next year. So do we have any of the next year's plans figured out yet, or is that still all up in the air?
No, we'll be back at Notre Dame again next year, and then we'll move on to the next folks. But, I would just add that, one of the other themes that we heard from our customers and our ISV partners was the fact that it's free. And so, Innovia pays for everything other than the customer's travel expense to get to the conference. So the conference is free, your hotel is free, and really in the spirit of a user experience, it should be free for users, right? That we're trying to build that community and ensure that they're getting value from the systems that they own. And so we'll be excited to be back at ND again next year.
Because
Steve, just because you put in a special plug, I did make a note with the president of the university that Garth Brooks would still not be allowed into it.
Nice, yeah. So nothing like a little surprise right before the conference of who wants to come and join our conference and take over our space. But anyway, hey, Tom, maybe you can walk us through, because we had some clients that didn't make it, or some that are thinking coming from the first time. Maybe like, what should they expect? Maybe kind of walk through what the day was like, so what they can kind of see that what value would bring to them.
Sure. So, even pre-conference, so it all starts, Angie and Tim and Joe coordinate a series of informational webinars to help you plan, go through your agenda, make sure you understand the sessions that you want to attend. Then we work on logistics to make sure we can get you from the airport to the hotel comfortably and get you settled in. And then the evening of the event, we get together and we have light hors d'oeuvres and visit and drinks, and really it's the social hour, right? Just a chance to get everybody reconnected. We usually do something fun in the afternoon of that same first day. In this case, it was the tour of the Notre Dame practice facilities, and then the real meat of the conference kicks off that next Thursday morning. And so there's a keynote, and then we all break out into our collective sessions, and you're going to sessions and meeting with other people. And then throughout that day, we'll have a couple of breaks. Usually at lunch, we have another keynote, and then we'll have a dinner at the end of the conference to wrap it up and just, thank everyone for being there and have a few parting thoughts before everyone hits the road and gets home. But, I would say that if for customers that didn't make it, if you missed the opportunity, you don't have to wait till next May. There's a great user event in San Antonio in September. Again, it's a very low cost event, free membership to the user group. I would strongly encourage people to get involved.
Nice. And I heard, Jeff, there was a live demo on CRM.
Almost live. That's right. Our very own Steve Waltz stepped in. We had an illness that had one of our speakers incapacitated at short notice, and Steve spoke to a really full room about how to get more from your CRM system and what to consider because if you're a Business Central or Nav user, you already own the CRM.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought you did a great job, Steve, and that we got a lot of good feedback from that session.
Oh, that's great to hear. Did you hear that, Jeff?
It'll just make Jeff want to present next year.
That's right. I think actually this was the first Innovia event that I didn't have to present at. So that was a nice feeling. Although I felt like I was right up there with you, Steve, in that CRM presentation.
Well, you obviously helped me behind the scenes, so that was great. And we had presentations on Power BI. And, one of the sessions I talked with a few of our clients because of this whole change, right, to the cloud. It was Jenny, and I'm trying to think who else it was that did the upgrade from from Nav to Business Central, what to expect. That was a really well attended. That was Kevin out of Chicago,
Yep.
One of the consultants. That was a highly attended session, and I had a lot of feedback from that because it's when you're talking upgrade or reimplementation to a whole new system, right? The different code base. It was, I think it had helped a lot of our clients kind of answer a lot of the questions they had about what to expect.
We got particularly good feedback on that session, actually, when we were talking with folks, because we try really hard not to make these sessions sound like a sales pitch. Mm-hmm. And we had quite a few customers come up and say, we were a little nervous about the cloud, but having visited with other users that have already started their cloud journey and attending the session with Kevin and Jenny and learning about the process that Innovia has developed to help our customers make that shift, they were really excited about what the Business Central SaaS solution is going to mean for their companies.
So, Jeff, what was your overall take on all the sessions? How many did you get a chance to attend?
Let's see. I think I made it to 3 different ones, and I actually caught Mary presenting about customer voice. That I think is a application that's going to continue to become more and more important as people realize, what it can do for their organization. So I expect that will be one of those surprise ones, like the presentation that Bob and Alan used to present, and would have packed rooms about the process mapping, and it seemed like something, if you think back to when we were brainstorming for ideas, I've been around long enough to remember that. It's like, well, let's, maybe some people will enjoy that. And then it ended up being like the most popular session several years in a row. I could see that presentation getting to that point about voice as people understand surveys and the importance of feedback and the customer service loop. So yeah, I was and I think that the thing, it was great to be back in person, of course, with our customers and partners, and actually I guess coworkers, because we at Innovia don't get together nearly as much as we'd like to. So that was all great, but I think that's really the one of the biggest values of attending for a customer is just being able to connect with not only with Innovia staff, but with other customers and talk about issues and ideas they have and things they want to do. I think, as Tom said, hearing, we were nervous about the cloud or whatever it is, being able to just talk to other users is so important. And when you get, couple hundred users together in a group like this, it's a great opportunity to get feedback from others.
And having those ISVs there, we pretty much had the whole gamut covered, don't you think? We had AP automation, we had ADP was there, we had different. Just taking kind of plethora of them, Tom. What was the feedback from our clients that were there about the ISVs that were there?
I think that the customers appreciated the broad range. There was 15 different companies there showing their apps apps that work with Business Central. And so, as you mentioned, whether it was payroll or credit card processing or warehousing, logistics and freight planning, I mean, all of those things, COVID did a couple of things besides delay our conference. It kicked all kinds of companies that weren't necessarily thinking about remote work into a gear where they had to think about remote work. And then the resultant supply chain issues that people run into, freight management is way more important. They have that now. You have got to have a solution. Payroll, ADP, and we say payroll, but ADP is so much more than payroll. It's an entire human resource department at your disposal, and attracting and retaining our talent and keeping our team together are just critical in a day where people are talking about the great resignation. So I think that our customers found all of those interactions to be really pertinent to the challenges they're facing today in their businesses.
And that kind of goes to what you're talking about, Jeff, face to face, because a lot of times they don't have access to talk to ISVs. And I think having that opportunity to talk to them, maybe we're thinking about a warehouse system, or we are looking at credit card processing, whatever. Not only you have the ISVs there, they also had some of their clients there. They could actually have them talk and get a firsthand some feedback from them, how their solution's working. And I think that's just what an opportunity for a lot of customers, because when you're talking, but when you actually talk with end users that are using it, it just makes a big difference, I think.
Well, and the timing is important, right? So our customer engagement team does a great job. They talk with customers in their business reviews about potential solutions, but everybody's busy, right? And a business review is an hour, maybe it's 2 hours at the outside limit. And now when you're at a conference, you're there to learn stuff, right? So if you're going to go have a conversation, with iSolutions about credit card processing, you're really dedicated to that conversation. So if it takes 20 minutes or 2 hours, you don't care, because you're getting value and you have nowhere else to be right now. And so I think getting people in a room is beneficial to them as well.
Nice. You know what, Jeff, I was thinking is that we haven't done a giveaway in a long, long time. And for those that came, they got a beautiful Innovia backpack. And I grabbed one. Angie, sorry, you don't know about it yet, but you now do. I have an Innovia backpack for the first listener that emails Jeff Pergolsky, J. Pergolsky. Jeff, I'll let you spell your last name, just like it sounds, at Innovia.com. And say customer conference, what? Innovia customer conference. What should they say? Jeff's awesome. Innovia customer conference, or?
Yeah, I think as long as they reference this podcast, that would be enough.
So why don't you go ahead and give them your email address?
All right. It is jpergolsky at Innovia.com. That's JPERGOLSKI at Innovia.com.
And so I know we have some that are probably have one already that attended. Should we make this to where somebody doesn't have one, or first come, first serve, Jeff? What do you think? Because I know we got some listeners that
you guys got a lot of rules in this show you're running here.
Yeah, it started as a simple idea, and I'd say first come, first serve.
All right.
If they've already got a backpack, maybe I'll sneak some other Innovia swag in there.
Now it's getting interesting. So,
Yeah.
But that was a give back, and I'm very fortunate. I get to talk to a lot of clients that are, if they're looking to come to Innovia, recently come to Innovia, and we talk about a lot of things. And one of the things that I talk about is a give back, because Tom, that was a lot of money, right? That's a lot of our marketing resources, and to give back to our clients, to reinvest in the relationship, right? Because a relationship is when both parties invest. We're putting the resources there to help them be more self-sufficient. I mean, I just think it's a great, a way of giving back to our clients.
Well, Steve, we certainly try, and I appreciate you bringing that up. I mean, as we say, look, we're human. We don't get it right every single day, but we do the right thing every time. And we think that if we always try to operate with the user's best interest in mind, that over the long term, that's going to work out best. And the investment that we make along with our ISV partners to host this conference is it's significant. It's a significant amount of time and dollars, but we think is an investment back into our customers so that they can get even more, because when they win, we win together.
Great. Any other feedback you guys like to give before we sign off here?
I would just strongly encourage anybody who has not signed up to dynamicsuser.net and get signed up. It's a great free resource. The Innovia team's up there all the time. And there is a special promo running right now where you can actually attend the National User Group Conference for less than $500. That's less than half of any other comparable conference. And we would strongly encourage people to get signed up today. Because it will sell out. That's a limited attendance number.
It is. I signed up this morning and the hotel looks pretty booked.
Good for you. Yeah. As I heard, there was maybe 20 or 30 more rooms. I mean, it's getting close to selling out, and it's going to be a great event.
Nice. Jeff?
Well, I just wanted to say probably for me, the highlight of my customer conference was being on the Jumbotron at Notre Dame Stadium with you, Steve. And actually that just made me think, like, how great would it be if Tim was able to incorporate our attendees and included on that slideshow. It was really cool to have access to all those resources, and that would be cool too, because it is just a cool feeling. I don't, as vain as I am, I guess it was just it was cool to send a picture to my kids and say, hey, kind of a big deal. Check me out.
Jeff, I got to tell you, so I grew up in South Bend my whole life, just as Steve did. And I never actually thought about it until I saw your picture up there. And I did. The 10-year-old kid inside me was like, oh, I want my picture up there.
Yeah,
because it was, and how about happy birthday to Deb Adler? Like, that was a hoot, right? 250 people singing you happy birthday and your name on the Notre Dame Jumbotron. That was sweet.
Yeah,
that was awesome. I kind of did the same thing, Jeff. I texted to my kids and my wife. I'm like, yeah, Daddy's somebody now.
Yeah, that's right. This isn't just the picture at the post office.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was feeling great. Sent it in the family group chat, and then Owen said, Dad, how come there's no one sitting in that stadium? And I said, well,
they're all standing on the field saluting me.
That's right.
Nice. That's right. We'll work on that next year, right? Next year.
That's right. Yeah. And remind them just how many great Green Bay Packers came out of the University of Notre Dame.
Yeah. It's
colors. That's how they were formed. Notre Dame alumni. There you go. So,
all right. We're going to be on the call for another 2 hours as we discuss the Notre Dame Green Bay Packer conference. All right. I'm sorry, Steve. I hijacked your show.
Hey, that's Holly usually hijacks time. You can hijack anytime you want. So, but next year we'll have the picture of Jeff and the lightsaber. I saw it was May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Was one of the days, and maybe we'll get that on there. But I know people will get a picture of Tom on the big screen for next year.
Well, Breon and Andrea had some great pictures of them with lightsabers. They were outstanding. Yeah.
I said,
well, guys, thanks for having me on, and I'll look forward to talking with you again on the next Innovia podcast.
Well, we appreciate getting on here, Tom, and thank you to all the Innovia staff that made this event a huge success. All the presenters, all the people behind the scenes, to all our ISV partners. We can't thank you enough. And keep checking our website. If you go to innovia.com and look under resources, there's a tab that says conferences. It's going to be May next year. We don't have the dates, but as soon as we get the dates, we'll let everybody know.
Working on contracts right now. We should know in the next 30 days.
Awesome. Tom, thank you for joining. And guys, this podcast is over.